there was a plan. Tell JK that I'm still rolling, yeah. Tell Russell I'm a rap. Yeah.
Alright guys, JK Fitness 151 here again. This video, yeah, it is a little bit early. I did say it was going to be so it was going to be next Wednesday or Friday, but hey, you know, I'm not busy now, so I thought I would give you guys a good video. And it's all about, well, as the title suggests, it's all about the mistakes you're making at the gym, but it's part 2. So it's an extra 5 for you, and these are 5 that, well, I find that are very, very common, and a lot of mistakes that you guys are making, and it's how to put it right. So the first one is going to be all about not progressing or changing your program. I've seen plenty of guys at the gym that really don't know what they're training for. Well, they say they do, but they don't. Like I've had a few guys who said to me, you know, I've came up with them, I watched while they're training, and I said, what are you training for? And they said, oh, I just want to get bigger, really. It's like, oh, right, so you're training for hypertrophy. All right, he's like, well, what's that? I was like, oh, hypertrophy, it's basically where you're going for mass, so you want to get bigger. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm training for that. I said, alright. I said, what's your rep range then? What are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm doing 3 sets of 10 reps. I was like, there's your first mistake there. I said, what you want to be doing is you want to be doing between 4 to 6 reps and 4 to 6 sets. I said, that's what you want to be sort of looking at when you're doing hypertrophy. And he's like, oh really? I was like, yeah. I said, honestly, I said, should I show you a few of them? He's like, no, I think I'll be alright. You know, that's one of them. You're not changing your program. You're not making it difficult for yourself. You know, that's the first place to look. So yeah, a lot of people don't know exactly what they're training for, and that's why they're not progressing. Because, you know, you're doing like 3 sets of 10 reps. What are you meant to be training with that? So that's one thing that us PTs want to help with. And that's one thing we do very well. Me, I want to be clued up on every single little thing. So right now I know how to train people. I know how to get all that sorted. You know, if they want to train for hypertrophy, right, okay, we'll do this, and we'll train for hypertrophy, we'll get bigger. You know, right now I've just left me last hypertrophy training session, and I'm now going into strength training, which is a bit different. But that's me changing my program, because that's what I want to train for. And then in a few months' time, I'll go back to hypertrophy, and we'll start it all over again. So that's one of them. Not knowing where to start as well. I'd sort of leave 2 in 1 type of thing with that. And yeah, knowing what to train for. You know, that's knowing what to train for. That's why you're not progressing, because you don't know what you're training for, and because you don't know what you're training for, therefore how can you improve on something that you don't know that you're already doing? So yeah, knowing your reps is very important. Knowing what you're training for exactly is very important as well. So yeah, even add some sets, such as, you know, do like a pyramid set or do a superset. You know, you've got to be able to progress your training. So that is the first one. The second one is improper use of equipment. And there's a lot of, I'm just trying to get the light source. There we go. There we go. Lights should be sorted now so you can see me. Right, so yeah, improper use of technique, and there's a lot of that going on. And that's where you basically, for example, say you're on the chest press, you push all the way out, and you get, you know, you can't quite get all the way down to your chest, and you lock out. And I've seen some horrific injuries. I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook yourself, when somebody's been doing the leg press, so with the legs like that, and they've locked out and the legs just gone the other way. That's absolutely vile. I remember getting shown that last year in college. I don't think I've ever looked at a leg press quite the same way since that. So yeah, that is one of the bad ones. It can be quite dangerous. That actually, it leads to a lot of injuries, improper use. There's one lad who came to the gym the other day, and he's hurt his AC in his shoulder, so it's like the front of his shoulder, one of the deep muscles in there, and he basically, when he goes like this, he can't do it. He can't do it when it's weighted down on his right shoulder. So I was speaking to him, and I was saying to him, right, okay, well, what I'll do is I had to figure out what it is. So he was telling us, you couldn't do certain things, and I thought it was a rotator cuff or a tendon at first. And then we dived a little bit deeper, and it turns out it was an AC. He's don't quote me on it because I've forgotten what it's called. Atriomical clavula, I think it's called. Either way, it's called the AC. AC tendon or muscle, and he's hurt that. And what we're going to do is, when I see him on Monday, we're going to start with some exercises. It's obviously going to start with this, then move down, and then some rotational exercise like movements to see what can and can't be achieved. Then after that, we're going to start with some basic, because I'm going to do a taster session with them as well. So what we do in the taster session is I'll do a full 30-40 minutes of what a session would be like with me, and then if he wants to go for it after that, he can go for it. So yeah, he's hurt there, and I've given him some information about what it exactly is, and I've said when I see him, what we'll do is we'll discuss it. We'll discuss his nutritional plan, because he wants to build for hypertrophy, but he's not a very big lad. So I said, right, okay, we'll train for hypertrophy, and we'll go from there. So that's exactly what's going to be happening. So I'll see him on Monday, get his consultation done, his nutritional stats, everything, and we'll go from there. And yeah, little injuries like that, I'm starting to get better at picking up, especially like kyphosis. I'll get onto them ones soon. I think that's the 5th one I've got in line. Yeah, that's number 5, stuff like kyphosis. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with obviously the basics of his mobility. So obviously doing like bodyweight exercises and stretches to obviously help this AC strengthen. That's going to take time, maybe a few weeks, but I'm going to get that lad back to where he wants to be. He's a footballer as well, and he needs to be able to get into the slide tackles. He needs to be able to get into the strength as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start from the basics, from the ground up, and we're going to build him up, and he's going to be fitter and stronger. If he decides to go for one-on-one PT, I'm going to make that lad not regret it. I'm going to teach him all the things I know, and I'm going to make him better, fitter and stronger, and especially his AC. So yeah, we'll start with body weight, and then once we go from body weight, we will go into very, very light resistance, build up from light resistance to obviously his proper hypertrophy. Once we go from there, it's a whole different kettle of fish. So yes, that is number 2, and that is improper use of the gym equipment. So going into number 3, and number 3 is doing too much too soon. So a couple of these do sort of link in, but at different types of material. I'm just gonna have a drink of me tea. Haven't had a cup of tea all day, and it's very, very satisfying as well. Right, so yeah, improper use. No, not improper use. What am I talking about? Doing too much too soon, and that's exactly how that lad hurt his AC. Just simply because he lifted a bit too much too soon, and we've all done it. We've all tried to be a bit too cocky. Picked up a weight that's really, really heavy, too heavy that we've never done it before, and we've either looked really, really bad, or we've actually came off okay, if we're very lucky. And yeah, we don't really want to risk luck or fate. So one of the things that we do as a PT, we don't want people lifting the heaviest weight possible, especially if they've never done it before, or they've never really trained. Because if you've never really trained, you don't know what you're good and what you're not good at, and your muscle fibres won't be able to recruit quite enough force, and you will therefore not be able to lift it, or become anywhere near even getting 1 rep out of it. And that's exactly what that guy did. I think he was doing... What did he say he was doing? I think it was a shoulder press, and I think he lifted a bit too much too soon, and it popped. And yeah, that's just one of the things that happens. So doing too much too soon, yeah, only do that when you want to progress your training. But it should feel too easy. What you're doing should feel too easy. If you're doing the right reps, you're doing the right amount of reps and sets for what you're training for, and you're also doing the correct technique. When it feels too easy, that's when you begin to move. Why do it when it's too hard? It doesn't make sense. Or when it still feels hard. Only do it when it starts to feel easy, or to get a bit repetitive. then try to bump the weight up once, like, you know, 1 or 2 more. Don't try and do it by 10 like that guy. He went up by an extra 10 kilograms. And yeah, them dumbbells, believe it or not, going up even 2 or 3 can be quite challenging. So him doing 10, you know, it really speaks for itself. So that's another one. That's number 3. You know, doing too much too soon. Don't do it, guys. You know, I hate to see people get injured at the gym. That's one of my biggest things, when they lift too much or they try to be a bit too cocky in front of their friends, or just because they feel like, you know, they just feel like they've got to lift too much. You know, because it can be quite a vicious place to be in a gym, especially when there's loads of big guys and you're just starting out. I know for a fact it can be a really, really daunting thing. And even some people are embarrassed to want to talk to a personal trainer. You know, and I do understand that. The whole gym thing these days, you know, it's not right, but that's just how it is. It can be a big anxiety attack going into a gym. So I do understand why you want to do that. But don't do it, guys. You know, you know your own body better than anyone else. And if you think or you feel like you're doing too much too soon, don't do it. It's not worth the risk, especially if because you're just going to end up regressing to the point where you're not getting anywhere, and that's not what we want. I don't want to say that as a PT. So I try to help you guys out as much as possible. Also, now we're going on to number 4, and number 4 is not balancing out your exercises. And this leads me into the kyphosis, lordosis, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot of guys I see at the gym who don't work the trapeze. And if you don't know what the trapeze is, it is your upper back just there. So it goes pecs, delts, and then your trapeze, then your latissimus dorsi. Okay, so that's one way to remember it if you do remember it. So yeah, with that, a lot of people don't work that type of muscle. I myself don't really work it that much, and I've started incorporating it into my routine, because I don't want to start rounding my shoulders like that. I don't want that, and I don't want to be like that either. So I need to strengthen them to pull the shoulders back like so you have a good natural posture. I'm lucky that I do. I really am lucky that I do, because obviously I'm typing a lot, or I might play a little bit of Xbox, or with me driving. You know, it can happen, you know, especially if you're at a day job like this at a desk. You're going to round like that, you know, because that's your body shape. It's doing that all the time. So you need to work everything. You need to be balanced with everything. I was talking to a guy today, and he wasn't balanced. He was getting a bit kyphosis, and because he was getting kyphosis, it's all about the desirable muscles, and that's going to be my 5th one. So, alright, ignoring that. Yeah, not working all the muscle groups or balancing out your workout. There's too many desirable muscles getting worked, and this links me into number 5, which is desirable muscles. You know, do you know what you're working? Do you know why you're working for? And do you also know how many reps? So this video, everything links into it, you know. In fact, you know what, I'll give you a bonus one. Alright, we'll make it 6. But even though the title and everything says 5, we'll make it 6. Because, hey, why not? And yeah, so basically we're on the 5th one now. And the 5th one is obviously not knowing what you're working and why. You know, you can say, oh, I'm going to do a chest day. Just hammer the chest. And then you're going to end up rounding your back, because you're not getting, your lats aren't getting worked, so you're going to end up with a curved spine. And then your trapeze isn't getting worked, so you're going to end up, you know, like that. Don't do it, guys. Don't. It's too many desirable muscles, right? Yeah, so you want abs. You need to start from the beginning with abs. You need to start with core stability first for abs. And you also need to work your lower back as well. You need to work your lumbar. And that is part of doing core stability. And I've covered it in videos before. I've covered 2 videos with core stability exercises. Start off from the ground up, guys. That's what I'd recommend, starting from the ground up. Start with the basics, then push yourself further afield. But only do it when it's right, and only do it when you need to do it, or when it feels it's too easy. Because if it's too hard, I mean, that's like playing Call of Duty on like Veteran or Legendary, and you've never even played it before. It just doesn't make sense. You know, it's like playing FIFA on Legendary, and you've never ever played FIFA before. You're just destined to fail, and you're destined to get frustrated and annoyed. and that's when controllers get smashed. Or in the gym, that's when, you know, your chest gets smashed so much that you become like this. And mistakes or things that you might not be doing right at the gym. And that's it. And the next video, well, subscribe, be part of the page, like the page on Facebook, and even, you know, follow it as well. It's all good. If you want more information like this, I recommend you do that, because it's, you know, it's from a PT. It's all stuff that will help you with your training. That's the whole point. That's why I'm here for. And I enjoy teaching people, and I enjoy people learning from my knowledge. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
On and on and on and don't take them to the crib unless they easy. Call them on the phone and platinum Chanel cologne and I stay dressed to impress, spark his interest. Sex is all I expect as they watch TV in the Lex. They know.